Morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports George Daily, presented by LeBear's Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Christ-Sand. We're over here together at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on this Friday morning edition of Sports George Daily, presented by good folks over at LeBear's. Tremonti's is rocking and rolling. Of course, everybody getting ready for the Memorial Day weekend, so you got to come by Tremonti's today, tomorrow, get all your meats and for the grilling and cooking, and it's a long weekend, so you got to get extra meat over at Tremonti's. And of course, looking forward to Tremonti's. They'll be catering tomorrow night the 50th birthday bash, Rants the Night Away, that we'll be having going on. A big old event, and they're going to do a great job on that catering. Looking forward to it.
I've had a couple of questions. Are you going to sing at any point Saturday night during the Rants the Night Away?
I mean, I think, quite honestly, the whole night is planned around that. Like the party is just an excuse for me to sing a few songs, I think. Yeah. There's a few ditties. I mean, like a lot, like maybe 7 or 8, Coach. Like we're gonna have some songs. So.
I got to get up now. I'm ready.
What are you gonna go with? It's a 70s and 80s themed party.
You want me to blow the cover right
okay,
now?
No. But are you going? Just give me the decade.
70s.
Okay, I figured that. But okay.
Well, I was in high school in the 70s, and I'm gonna be ready. And and
my attire is more 80s. I'm going more 80s.
You ready for this one? My date is going with the Farrah Fawcett look.
Let's see. Yeah. I know a couple people that are going with that too. So that's going to be popular. A lot of big hair, Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah. Hairspray will be back in style. They'll be spraying that stuff everywhere.
I wonder if we should have gotten a few of those posters made, put them up all around.
Yeah, it's not too late to do that. That's going to be a fun night. A lot of people looking forward to it.
Going to be awesome. We'll tell you all about it. We'll even have a little.
I got to give a shout out too. There's a place on Government Street called Time Warp.
Yep.
I went in there looking for accessories and all that. Said I got to go to a party Saturday night. They said the one at the Varsity.
right.
Like, holy smokes, this is big.
Right, and then Vintage Violet is right on the other side of the parking lot. Did you see it?
I did not.
Yeah, see, like where the Time Warp is. If you're looking at the Time Warp over there on Government Street, it's right by one of my favorite places, Elsie's Plate and Pie, which is so
I know
good.
About Elsie.
So between Time Warp and Elsie's is Vintage Violet. Actually, a friend of mine, she'll be at the party tomorrow night, owns it, Kelly Lee, and they have great stuff. They actually have different stuff. So if anybody's looking, last minute trying to shop, go to Vintage Violet or the Time Warp on Government Street. Both of them great. All right, so we'll talk a little Sports Shorts Daily here. LSU Baseball. They finally played. They were supposed to play 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Instead, it was, 9:45 or something like that?
Right at
first
that,
pitch.
give or take a minute when they finally played baseball.
I mean,
been in Hoover since Sunday.
But they stayed, even though they hadn't played in 5 days, they still were red hot as they were when they left Nashville.
Didn't have Barry, didn't have Doty in the lineup. Tip your hat to Mikael Hilliard, who again did a great job. I mean, this guy's just emerged.
And they pulled him before they really needed to. They just didn't want to tax him. They had a big lead. He had gone 6 innings. I think he was at 85 pitches. Clearly, he could have gone 20, 30 more pitches. They just no reason to.
See, I would have went more because you're not going to throw him again.
Yeah.
Until the regional time. Now, also, we got to mention 2 things. One, Pearson 5 for 5. No LSU player ever got 5 hits in a tournament game. And I think the story is Tyler McManus. Ryan, this guy came in after Delgado, after Sanford, had a good fall, hit some home runs, hit a bunch of balls over the fence.
Got hurt at the end.
Yeah, a bunch of balls over the fence. And then, the first month and a half, 7 weeks, just wasn't happening for him at the plate in particular. And then all of a sudden, he's now batting .307 after a 2 for 3 last night. I mean, and he's run some balls out of the yard, all against SEC teams.
Right.
The homers aren't on the Tuesday night thing. So I think you got to look at that and go, wow. And then you didn't have Barry, you didn't have Doty. This team just found a way to do it. So here's the burning question. Does that make them a host with the 1 win? I think if they beat Tennessee tonight, they're a host.
Well, it seems like LSU, there's only one publication out of the 5 I've seen that had them as a host before the tournament. Beating Kentucky, I don't know that really helps you. Obviously, it gets you a 17th, 18th win? 18th win in the league. That's more important than the actual winning of Kentucky. I would, but this is a weird year for the SEC because the SEC does not have the cachet from 1 through 14 that the league has had in the past. There's a lot of teams that are battling the host. Right now, the only locks seem to be Tennessee, A&M, and and it seems like Auburn is a lock to host. Can the SEC get 4? Can they get 5? We'll see. I think if LSU wins one more, it'd be really tough for them to keep them out.
Well, and if they do win one more, it's against Tennessee, who's got 50 wins and 25 and 5. That's what I said. If they play late tonight, which would be roughly a 9 o'clock, 9:30 start, you keep up with it on the SEC network. They beat Tennessee tonight. I think they're a host.
Do we know who they're going to pitch?
I'm going to guess Ty Floyd, but that's purely a guess. No inside info there.
Who is LSU pitching? I'm texting.
Your inside info.
Yeah, huh? We'll see. We'll see if we get a response before we go off the air.
That would be my guess to throw Floyd.
He deserves it. I mean, Ty Floyd is an interesting story because, he was a guy that I thought LSU's coaching staff overvaluated at the beginning of the season. I didn't think Ty Floyd deserved to be the number 2 starter on this team based on the fact he did not have another pitch. And I don't care unless you throw 103 like Tennessee's got a couple guys that do. Unless you throw that hard, you can't have just a fastball. Even though it's a good one, 93, 90, 92, 95, you can't just throw all fastballs in the SEC. And so I just wondered, well, what did they see in the fall and in the workouts to lead the coaching staff at LSU to believe Ty Floyd could be that guy? And then we watched it, and he did well against not very good teams before he hit the skids in Houston. But they didn't even try to throw any pitches. They were just like happy to take the win, keep pumping fastballs. And then he disappeared. He was AWOL, and he really wasn't a factor for about a month or so. And I thought, okay, well, it's not going to work out with Ty Floyd, probably going to transfer. Well, then he comes in against UL Lafayette, gets a start, and all of a sudden they start flipping breaking balls. At one point in that game, Tommy, he threw 7 breaking balls in a row. And so that proved to me that, he'd been showing something in practice. And I like the fact that they picked and choose their spots and let him just throw it. So Ty Floyd, with the command of the fastball and being as good as it is, he's a strike thrower. I think he's your best option right now. And outside of him, I still am a giant Jacob Hasty fan. I think they need to let him go 3, 4, 5 innings in a start.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And, obviously they're going to make a decision. Just, because, again, I think they'll never say this, but they know if they beat Tennessee, they're hosting. Somewhere in the back of the brain, they know that. So, the coaching staff's going to do what they got to do. And then, if they can keep the bats going, they had one error last night. Thompson made another one, but it wasn't a major effect.
So Chance says, I'd rather be a 2 seed than a 16 or 15 number 1 seed due to Tennessee and Oregon State looming as potential matchups. But here's the thing, Chance. If LSU's not a number 1 seed, they're going to be a super high 2 seed, which means they're going to be in one of those 15 or 16 regionals. So, like, for example, if Southern Miss backdoors in and gets a regional and LSU doesn't, LSU's going to maybe get sent there as a number 2 seed because they seed everybody. It's not just seed 1 through 16 and forget about the rest. So LSU's going to get rewarded for just missing hosting, and they'll go to a higher seed, a 14, 15, 16 seed as a number 2 seed. So you're still going to play Tennessee or Oregon State most likely as one of your matchups.
And they are still wearing the gold jerseys. That's not going to change, I don't think.
Baseball players are superstitious. Were you superstitious?
They're very.
Yeah. See, I really wasn't, other than the respect of not stepping on a chalk line, because back then the players had to chalk the line. So you were kind of like disrespecting your teammates. But other than that, I wasn't a giant superstitious. Although I will say this, in 1992, my second year in college at LSU, I got knocked around against Maine, the Black Bears, in a start, and the rest of the year I wore the Maine Black Bear T-shirt underneath my uniform when I knew I was going to pitch. So that was superstitious, but that was more of like a reminder, like a motivational thing.
Let me ask you this. After the fact, I look back, and if in the bullpen I was sharp as could be, I was terrible in the game. And if in the bullpen I couldn't hit a spot, wasn't working real well, then the game, it was kind of crazy how that would happen sometimes.
All right, so looking around the tournament, kudos to the SEC, because let me tell you what the Sun Belt did. So the Sun Belt's got their conference tournament going on, and they're actually playing in Montgomery, Alabama, not far, right?
Not far at all.
From Hoover. Hours. They banged yesterday. They canceled yesterday entirely, anticipating bad weather. And And then they're starting their tournament today, single elimination. What? I mean, they have they both have natural fields. They both have tarps. The Sun Belt just, to me, got lazy and tried to play Nostradamus, which I can't stand. All of a sudden in the last 10 years, used to be when we were growing up and not that long ago, your baseball game played at 7 o'clock, you showed up, and the only way it got rained out was at 7:15 if all of a sudden the water's flooded and your tarp's on the field and you can't play. But now they try to guess, at 11 a.m., okay, tonight the game's canceled because we don't want Northwestern State to get on the bus from Natchitoches. And then you know what happens? Half the time the weather's perfect. And that's what they did yesterday. Sun Belt Conference canceled their tournament yesterday, changed it to single elimination, starting today, and they could have played.
Well,
and that's a conference more than the SEC that needs to be playing because they're trying to be a 2 or 3 bid league. So they need those games to help their teams not just get one automatic bid because they've got teams that deserve it. They've got 2 or 3 teams, that design, UL being one of them. The Raging Cajuns right there in the bubble. Right now they're out according to all the speculation. So it's pretty much they got to win the tournament. And they have less games now, an opportunity to show the league. It's going to hurt the league. That's a terrible decision.
Ronnie, in the SEC, it just means more, right? Like their slogan said, hey, tip of the hat, McNeese beat Southeastern extra innings last night. 1-0 lead, that 2 out of 3 series in Lake Charles. And the winner is the winner of the Southland Conference tournament. And more importantly, gets a bid in the NCAA. So Justin Hill's team up 1-0, but Matt Reiser will have the Lions ready to go tonight. So I wanted to update you on that. But you're right. Sun Belt, there's no better way to get the sun to come out than to cancel baseball. That sun's coming out. And we've seen it happen at LSU, where they would postpone something and then it would be beautiful weather a couple of years ago.
It happens all the time. I mean, look, I know they got Doppler 8000 and all that kind of stuff, but I go back to that story when I played, right, where Skip Bertman, before they had Doppler 8000, he did the old, yep, it's going to rain today, and 95% of the time he was right, but one time he wasn't, and he pulled me after a 10-0 lead after 2 innings because he was like, we got to get to 5 innings, and he said all fastballs, and I went base double, it's 10-1 runner at second. He pulled me. And he brought in Dave Harry, gave him the ball, said, all curveballs. We got to hurry up. We got to get to the 5th inning. Well, we ended up playing 9 innings and winning like 13-8 or something. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I hate that when people try to play Nostradamus and predict the weather.
Yeah, I tell you, it's been fun. I've watched a lot of the SEC tournament. Sometimes working at the desk, but I got it on, and it's been good. Crowds, a lot of LSU fans there. They persevered.
So Kip Kipper saying on one of the sites as of this morning, one of the sites has LSU as a 15 seed hosting with Louisiana Tech coming here, Texas Tech, who actually Texas Tech's a really good team out of the Sun Belt Conference. They won it, and Southern Miss coming here. That'd be a pretty fun regional. It'd be a big crowd.
Be a tough regional.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're a 15 seed, right? But Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss and Texas State, all of them slouches. I don't know who the 4 seed would be in that regional, that's for sure. So probably Louisiana Tech, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Chance Babin, Fontenot set the record for appearances, but hasn't pitched well last few times out. Yeah, that's kind of one of those deals where hey, good for Fontenot. The COVID kind of helped him get that record. He's a good guy. He's been a good Tiger. He's had a lot of great moments. He has not thrown well lately. He has been a bat finder. They had a 10-1 lead or 11-2 lead, and he gave up 4 runs in his couple innings out there. Just it hasn't been working out. And the biggest thing, Tommy, I'm seeing with Fontenot is just he can't command the fastball.
He's throwing too many curves because he doesn't have confidence in the fastball.
He just can't throw it consistently for strikes. Even in obvious situations where he's just trying to throw a fastball, he's wishing. He's just throwing it in there, hoping.
You can't pitch and hope. As Tony Robichaux used to say, you can't pitch and hope.
And then
you better pitch with a purpose.
And then the other thing, too, is walking guys with a big lead, throw it in there. He's trying to nibble and then argue about the call, and granted it was close, but there were balls last night. I always tell you, if you watch it on TV, so let me get the camera. So you're looking at me. Here's the plate. If you're, and I'm the catcher, okay? And this is the plate. This is the edge of the plate, and I'm on the, it's so weird with the camera. Okay, here we are. Here's the plate, and I'm the catcher, and I'm right on the outside corner. And if I've got to reach this way at all, then it's a ball. Just a little. if I gotta move the glove, you see him move the glove and then pull it back, ball. And so just it's really easy in some ways to call balls and strikes when a guy's on the outside corner set up like that, because then it's simple. I got the whole plate in front of me. If he moves to his left, I can see it right in front of me. And if the catcher's glove, it all moves to the right. There's no way it humanly possibly can be a ball. So those were some of the things we saw last night people were arguing about. But anyway, we'll see. I'm trying to see. Did I get a text back? Who's pitching tonight? Trying to see. We don't know yet who's pitching tonight for the Tigers.
No, so again, my guess is Ty Floyd, but that's purely a guess based on what we've seen the last couple of weeks. And then, they're not scheduled to play till very late tonight, so be patient. Watch the other ball games. I think the announcers are doing a great job. And check out them games, and we'll see what happens.
The NBA Finals is set. The Golden State Warriors. Not set.
Well,
the Celtics.
The Warriors
should
are
close
in
it out.
with the win last
Warriors
night.
are in 4-1. They beat the Mavs, and the Celtics are up in their series. Should close it
3-2
out.
and play again tonight in Boston.
Yeah.
You would think they close it out. So then we got NBA Finals, which we'll know by the time we.
When I was growing up, the Celtics were my favorite team
Really?
in the '80s. Larry Bird, and then when I was a giant Larry Bird fan. Loved those Laker Celtics rivalries. Loved the commercials with Larry and Magic back in the day, wearing the Converse, getting out of the limo, pulling up in French Lick in the limo. Remember those commercials? Was heartbroken when Len Bias died. Was heartbroken when Reggie Lewis passed away. I mean, unbelievable tragedy with the Celtics. Larry's career kind of got cut a little short with the back. So the Celtics were my team. Then when I moved out to Phoenix and the Phoenix started rolling when they got Barkley, that became my team. So then in the 90s, I was a big Suns fan, loved all that, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, all those guys, Cedric Sabalas, Danny Ainge went over there. Like that was my team in the 90s. And then quite frankly, don't really have a team other than the Pelicans, and really only the Pelicans because of geography. And for most of the time that the Pelicans have been here, haven't really cared that much. They're getting fun and interesting now because you feel like they've got young players that care as much as the fans do. So that's fun. But as far as the NBA is concerned, the Golden State Warriors are kind of quietly going about being the dynasty in essence that the Bulls were. They don't have the titles that the Bulls have, but they tied the Bulls for six appearances in the finals in 8 years or something like what the Bulls did in the 90s, which is impressive.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, a little bit before you were a little kid, my mother had a high school classmate that worked in the front office of Milwaukee Bucks. She was from Wisconsin, and he would send me like the little yearbook, which would now be called a media guide. Okay, so I kind of was a Bucks fan. That's when they had Al Cindor and Oscar Robertson and some really good players. And so I was kind of a Bucks fan because of that. But right now, hey, I'm all about the Pelicans doing well. Zion has been totally cleared for any and all basketball activities. That was a big story yesterday. Now, of course, that doesn't help the Pelicans on May the 20, whatever today is, 27th. But, hey, I think Pelicans going to be something worth watching come fall.
Oh, I definitely think so. I think the Pelicans are a lock to be a playoff team. I mean, a lock as far as if everybody's healthy,
Right.
But as far as what their roster makeup is, and based on what they did last year with the players that they have coming back, they're a playoff team. It's just about seeding. It's about can they be in that upper echelon in order to not have to do the play-in stuff and to maybe get a home court advantage. But I think nobody's going to want to play the Pelicans next year, especially if Zion buys in. It seems as if he's saying all the right things. He seems to enjoy his teammates. He seems to be excited about next year. If that's true, if that's 80% true, sky's the limit for this team.
Well, Willie Green did a great job coaching that team last year, so they can get ready. I mean, it's going to be fun. And I know even their ticket sales are up because of the success they had this year.
Yeah.
Need to fill up that building.
All right, so tonight we'll find out McNeese and Southeastern.
Zion need to quit eating all that gum.
Yeah, no crap.
Yeah, that'll be a thing. Watch his weight.
Which I said when he came into the league, from one heavy guy to another who recognizes potential trouble down the
And
road.
he comes from Duke where there's nothing to eat to New Orleans where there's plenty of food every corner.
I mean, and then just he's a big boy. You know, it's like dating a girl when she's 18 or 19 and she's thick, but she's not fat. She's just thick. But you know,
when she's 28, it's thicker.
38,
48, it's
yeah,
over.
Yeah, big girl. 38, you're sharing pants. You know what I mean? Like,
we're talking about that. We both,
listen, I'm a fat ass. I'm the first to admit it.
Right there with you.
Right, but I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I could project that Zion was gonna have issues with his weight, and with the issues with his weight comes issues with health, with the knees and the ankles and all that. I mean, you can't have 330 pounds jumping through the air like Superman and not have issues.
And play in the NBA, which, the greatest athletes in the world.
I mean, look at Shaq. I mean, Shaq at least had it on a 7-foot frame, but by the end of his career, when it was a lot of Shaq, I mean, he wasn't getting up off the ground very often. And Zion doesn't have enough Shaq. He's more Charles Barkley, so he's gonna have to watch it like Charles did. Charles came in, and we all said he was the round mound of rebound was ridiculous. You look back at the videos, the guy was skinny, right? Yeah. But he knew later on in his career, particularly he needed to watch his weight. Now, Charles whatever, but while he was playing, he realized he had to take care of himself, and he did. He was not a big guy in the NBA relative to what people thought he would be.
Yeah, so there's no doubt about that.
Let's say about the Rougarou real quick before we get out of here.
Well, we got Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow, 10 to 12. Hold the Rope Radio will be Sunday night, even though it's Memorial Day weekend. Sunday night, 7 to 9. Both those radio shows, obviously, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Now, no Sports Shorts Daily Monday due to Memorial Day, but we're looking at a special edition Tuesday. Do we want to say what we're thinking?
Yeah, Tuesday will be live from Pete Goolsby Field.
I've had a lot of people who have never been to Pete Goolsby Field. A couple of people didn't even know exactly where it was, so we want to help that figure because, hey, Tuesday we'll be 1 week away from the opener.
Tuesday is our opener on the road, and then we're 1 week to
and I'll be in Lafayette for the game Tuesday night. But so we're going to be out at Goolsby Field. We're going to take some pictures. We're going to give you some video with the field behind us and this, that, and the other, and make sure everybody knows about it and get ready when it's 1 week away. So Tuesday morning special edition of Sports Shorts Daily from Pete Goolsby Field, the home of the Wood Bat League, Baton Rouge Rougarou.
All right, brrougarou.com. You see it right there on the screen. Go there, order your tickets, get opening night tickets, get season tickets. 100
shirts, hats.
Yeah, you get everything on there. $100 gets you 4 tickets to every single game. That's $1 a ticket. Can't beat it. If anything, just do it to support the Rougarou, support TK and I. Give away the tickets to your friends at work, whatever the case may be. All right, for Tommy, I'm Ronnie. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Thanks to all the veterans out there for their service. That's what this weekend's all about. And TK, give us a little shout out about Tremonti's on the way out.
Lunch special today, fried catfish, topped with crawfish etouffee. They got all the steaks you need for the weekend, the sausage, you name it. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway, right down from Parkview Baptist Church and School. Call the number, get some catering, get everything you need for the weekend. On behalf of Ronnie Rance, thank you for everybody for the comments. Thank you for watching. Like and share this video.